Okay, so this is a continuation of my SaasAnt import data into QuickBooks videos. So the first one I said, okay, I've got these expenses on my expense report. I need to put it in QuickBooks, but I don't want to hand type them. So I put them into the SaasAnt template and I picked the expense accounts that I want to use. But I want to show you, we'll discover together, that some of these expense accounts don't appear on my chart of accounts. So now I need to add them. So let's go ahead and go to QuickBooks real quick. So here's my QuickBooks. Let me just drag it to the side so you can kind of see. So I know, for example, Virtual Office is not in my list. So let's imagine that I've gone through this and I've said, all right, there's just stuff that's not in the list and I need to add it to my chart of accounts. Let's go ahead and talk about how you can do that. You can click the green new on the right and add them one by one. Or since I want to show you SaasAnt, you can use SaasAnt. So let's take a look at our Excel file. So this is the SaasAnt Excel template. The people who developed the software said, if you use our template, you'll be able to upload stuff using our software and it'll go super smoothly. You don't have to use their template, but I do. It makes my life easier. So let me just look across the bottom. Here we go, accounts. This, of course, is in the tiniest font known to man. Let's go ahead and change that. So here's the sample data that they've given us. And I'm like, that's great, but that's not what I want. So let me go back to my bills because I have a list of expense accounts. I'm just going to copy that list, go to accounts, and then paste them in. Let me see if I can get all these to... There we go. Now we can see stuff. So the name is the name of the expense account. So I'll just paste it. Make it slightly less huge. The account type is going to be expenses. Here's where I get stuck. So let me go back to QuickBooks real quick. So I'm in QuickBooks, and let me just come down to an expense. So it's expenses plural, and then the detail type, it doesn't matter. Like, it does not matter. So I'm just going to copy advertising because it's the first one alphabetically, and I'll use that in my template. So it says account subtype, but it means detail type. It absolutely must match QuickBooks identically. That's why I had to check to make sure this was a plural. And that's why I copied and pasted the detail type. So I'm just going to drag that down. I don't use account numbers, so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm not going to use a description. And there is no currency code because my sample QuickBooks is not set up for multi-currency. Quick side note, if you set up your QuickBooks for multi-currency, you're never going to go back to single currency. So think really hard before you do that. All right, so let me just save this so that I've got it. Now that I have it, my next step is going to be to upload it to QuickBooks. I should have looked to see if I was duplicating stuff. Hold on. Let's do sort A to Z. I don't care. Now I can quickly see my duplicates and get rid of them. Okay, so I saved it. I'm going to upload this into QuickBooks using SaasAnt. From QuickBooks, I need to go to Apps, and then I need to go to Overview. I've already connected, I've already connected SaasAnt, but now it's being all silly. Okay, so it says I'm going to refresh and see if it shows up. Okay, so it does show up. I'm just going to ignore this task that it's invented for me, and I'll click Launch. I want to import, so I'm going to say import a file. Let's import. And the first thing I want to do is import my chart of accounts so that later when I go to import the other stuff, my chart of accounts will be there. Okay, not customers, not vendors. It's got to be other. Oh, nope. It's under a list. Okay, accounts. So let me just grab my file. I'm just going to drag and drop it. Over here on the right, there's a countdown. I just click continue. I don't wait for it to get to 0. I can start mapping, so start creating mapping, yes. Which sheet? So it's saying which tab on the bottom of that Excel document, and it's the accounts tab. So the first step was saying, what do I want to do? I want to add to my chart of accounts. The second step, this one here, is saying, okay, cool. You uploaded an Excel file with lots of tabs. Which tab am I looking at? So I'm like, all right, that's the one. Save and continue. Because I use the template, I don't have to go through and review all this to make sure that it lines up and makes sense. I can just tell it to upload. So it says that it's processing. We'll give it just a moment. All right. Hilariously, I have success with 3 and error with 2. Let's say show results. So these 3 are my success. These are my 2 errors. And it says the name already exists. So software and utilities. Hey, that's great. It was faster just to do that than it was to go back and forth to double check all those accounts. So let's look at something we added. We added virtual office. So let's go back into QuickBooks. I'm back in my QuickBooks. I want to go to my chart of accounts, and I just want to verify that that stuff I added is here. So virtual office was one of those things. It's definitely here. That's great. I'll make a different video where I show myself uploading the bills. And so I just want to stop this video here, but hopefully it's helpful. What I really wanted you to see was how to use SaasAnt to upload your chart of accounts, just how to do it, how easy it is. If you have questions, don't hesitate to let me know. I don't want to make a video for every possible thing you can do in SaasAnt, but I do want to make a lot of videos because it is a huge time saver. I had a friend call today with another bookkeeper, and she was describing something she does by hand. And I'm like, you could totally use SaasAnt for that. So that's why we're here. I just want to save my friend and anybody else some time by showing this really cool software. All right, thanks.